Hello, my name is Artur Wójcik. I'm a professional services team leader at Storware, and today I will show you how Storware Backup and Recovery can help you protect your Ceph cluster. As you can see, I have already prepared a Ceph cluster. Let me quickly log in. We have 4 monitors, which we will talk to. We've got a couple of pools. The one which we are most interested in is the volumes, as we already have some data in here. In order to integrate it with our Storware Backup and Recovery, we need to log in into our dashboard, and here you can easily find the storage section. To add our Ceph to Storware Backup and Recovery, all you have to do is go to the Infrastructure tab, hit the Create button, and here choose the Ceph RBD type. Name, this is the field only for you, because it only appears in our web UI. User is the username used to access the Ceph cluster. Ceph keyring is the keyring of this specific user to authenticate with the Ceph. As for the configuration, it's a simple Ceph conf file. You've got also the option to either exclude or include storage pools. By default, we scan all the storage pools which are available to our user. If you choose to exclude any of them, you can provide their names. We will not scan them, we will not list the volumes, and so you will not be able to do any operations in these pools. If you choose to include, we will only scan the pools which will be provided by you in here. After entering all required data, you can click Save. I already did it before. I've got myself added in here. First thing we have to do is to do inventory synchronization. It's as simple as clicking the button. The inventory synchronization tasks scans the Ceph cluster, lists the pools, lists the volumes, and all the required information for our product to cooperate with your Ceph. During the inventory synchronization, we are talking directly to Ceph monitors. So this is an important fact that we need to have network connectivity straight to the Ceph cluster. Once the inventory synchronization will be done, you will see all the instances listed from your Ceph. And right now, you are almost ready to do the backup. What you need to do next, before you can trigger any backup task, you need to create the backup SLA or backup policy, however you call it. To create it, you need the same thing as for the cluster, provide the name. You can choose the retry count, which tells our software to retry the failed backups number of times provided by you. You've got a small cool feature, auto assignment. If you don't want to assign the volumes by hand, clicking in our UI, choosing the volumes, etc., you can provide regular expression. Based on this regular expression, we will assign the volumes automatically to the backup SLA during the next inventory synchronization. You can also limit the auto-assignment feature based on the specific pools. So if you, for example, want to only use the pools from the volumes or the volumes from the volume 01, you can do this. Next thing, if you don't want to use the auto-assignment, you can manually choose the volumes which you want to backup. Last but not least, you choose where to store your backups. It can be either local file system, enterprise backup provider, S3 storage. It's up to you. You choose the retention settings, so how many versions for how many days you want to keep, and you choose the schedules. Based on the schedules, you can create either full backups or incremental backups, because for Ceph we support both these types, fulls and incrementals. The incremental ones utilize the native Ceph mechanism to do the differential calculation between the snapshots. Once the policy is done, you will see it on the list, and triggering the backup is as simple as clicking the backup button in here. But before going into the backups, let's go back to the instances. Let's choose a one which is assigned to the policy. You will see many more options when you go to the instance details, because you've got the information to which Ceph it is assigned, to which volume pool, If you did any backups, you will see the last backup date, you will see the last backup size, and also the last size of the full backup. More information, you will see the backup history, the backups which are here, and also the snapshots history. If you want to do the backup, let's trigger it now. We'll do the incremental one. For the incremental backup, what is important, we're keeping a single snapshot on the Ceph side. The snapshot is kept for us as a point in time, so we know from which moment we should calculate the new data to be backed up during the next backup window. What we do during the backup process, we export the data directly from the Ceph, so we're asking the Ceph monitors what data should be exported. In the full backup, this will be the whole volume. In the incremental backup, this will be only the changed data. So another important thing is only we're utilizing the network transfer for the changed data. We're not downloading the whole volume, only the blocks that were changed. After the export is done, we're triggering the store task, which moves the data from the temporary space called staging space to the backup destination of your choice. Later, we do the cleanup. We're cleaning our staging, we're checking whether according to the retention any backups should be removed, and we're also doing the cleaning on the Ceph side. We're checking whether there are any snapshots that should already be removed. Once the backup is done, you can of course restore the data. You have two options to either restore to the storage provider of your choice. And this is another cool feature. If you have more than one Ceph added, you can use the cross-restore feature. You can backup data from one of them and restore to another one. You choose the point in time from which you want to do the restore. You choose the Ceph and you choose the destination pool. So you then don't have to restore to the same pool from which you did the backup. You can specify the new name, and you can also overwrite the data. If you want to do sort of in-place restore, we will check whether the volume with the same name exists, remove it in the first place, and do the restore once the volume has been removed. Another thing, in case, for example, your Ceph is inaccessible, you can do the restore to our node. This will basically restore the whole volume image to one of Storware Backup and Recovery nodes, allowing you to manually get the volume, upload it to your Ceph or any other storage of your choice. In case you would need, for example, only some of the files from your volume, you've got the mount option. This allows you to choose a point in time and also mount all the file systems which were in the volume that we backed up. So you can go by our UI or via SSH on our node and access the files, download them, browse them via UI. You can either mount all file systems or, for example, choose a single one. Let's mount all of them. This also triggers another task to be created. The task is getting assigned to the node. And let's give it a moment before we'll be able to mount our data. First step is restore, in which we are merging all the chains from the last full backup. Next one is the mount task. In this specific task, your data gets mounted on our node. So in a moment it will be accessible, you'll be able to browse your data, download files, etc. Okay, in the meantime, while the mount task is happening, another feature which we allow you to utilize for Ceph is the snapshot management. This is not something typical for a backup solution, because we're not getting data from Ceph to our software, but we're allowing you to manage snapshots on the Ceph. It's very similar to the backups, because you also have to create the SLA, which is really similar to what we've seen before. You provide the name, you have the option to use auto-assignment, you can manually choose the storages. The only difference is in the rule. because in here you do not provide the backup destination. There's no need for such thing. You only provide the versions and the days for how long the snapshots should be kept on the Ceph. You can also create the schedule to either create snapshots according to it, or if you would like, same as for the backup, you can do the snapshot for the whole policy, or we can go to our specific instance. No i w tym momencie się wysypałem.
Dużo czasu potrzebujesz, żeby wrócić?
Nie, tak naprawdę.
Tylko ważne, żebyś zaczął od tego
Tak.
samego ekranu, nie?
You can either trigger a snapshot for your whole policy, or we can go back to our instance. And in here, you've got a small camera button, which allows you to create snapshot for this specific instance. Right now, we submitted the snapshot task. As you can see, it's already in our queue. This will create a single snapshot in our Ceph for this specific instance. Once the snapshot is created, you will see the list of all the snapshots created for this instance. If there's a need, you can click a revert button, which will allow you to revert the state to the moment where the snapshot was created. Important information: all these snapshots are kept on the Ceph. So if you go to the Ceph cluster, you will see all these snapshots created in your storage. Reverting to the snapshot, it's as simple as clicking the button. You have to confirm, because keep in mind that reverting to the snapshot can result in the data loss, because we're going back in time with your actual volume on the Ceph. Once you click yes, continue, as for any other task, you will see that there's a snapshot reversion task created, and it's already finished. So our volume already has been reverted to the snapshot chosen. What else? For all the volumes, you've got the data about the activity, about the backups, about the data transferred, when it was transferred. As for the mount, our mount task is still running, so we're not yet able to see the data. It has just finished. So you can go to the mounted backups in here. If we go to the details, you've got the option to browse directly from the web UI all the files which were inside this volume. This allows you to get a file level restore without the need to transfer all the data back to your Ceph cluster. If you only need a single file from a large volume, you don't have to move all the data back to the Ceph. You can simply go back to any directory, choose any file, and click download, and it will appear straight after. It gets zipped in case you need more files, and you can download it to your machine, or you can use the remote upload feature to upload this data to the machine of your selection. All you need to do is provide the host, provide the destination path, and of course credential to authenticate with a chosen machine. That's all for today. Hope you enjoyed this video and stay tuned for next materials.